There's a question I want you all to keep in mind as you're watching this video. That being, are the pieces of media or performances that made you like a certain artist, do those still matter today? Because while those things might still have some sort of significance, K-pop, among all topics on the internet, may be the one that fades the fastest. Thoughts like this first entered my head when researching for the Explaining Triple S video I made. Now, to accurately depict and find footage for all 24 members, I had to skim through Triple S's entire catalog. Despite only being around for less than 2.5 years, they're approaching the 2,000 video mark. For comparison, in their almost 4 years, aespa only has 1,000 videos, and Luna the World, even with their hundreds of short Luna TV episodes and being active for over 6 years, only reached just over 1,000. So looking through this deluge of daily signals that happened over on the Triple S channel, a simple thought occurred to me. Is anybody even still watching these? Am I alone in this sea of footage? And look, I'm not saying that people don't watch the current signals or go back to watch the first few signals. I'm talking about the middle of the pack. It was specifically this video of Kotone filmed on January 18th, 2023 called Kotone's Memories, where the thought for this video properly came to me. I guess the title had something to do with it. The video is a quaint stroll where Kotone attempts to use a Polaroid camera for the first time and get pretty nature shots at Wakasu Seaside Park. It's not a groundbreaking video by any means, but delightful, in the sort of way any solo naturey walk with Kotone would be, because let's face it, this girl is a national treasure. Now, while this video isn't too notable, it felt odd to me where it sat in view count after the last year and a half. About 37,000 views. And that's actually on the higher end. In fact, many Triple S videos, typically the secret bases, but sometimes the signals, fail to ever see over 30,000 views at all, which, as someone who has made videos that exceed that number in a couple weeks, always sits strangely with me. So sitting there, watching Kotone's bubbly monologue on the cloudy coastline, the thought came to me. Does anyone remember this? Like, sure, it's there, in front of me, and will most likely stay online for years to come. A recording in data like that can't be taken away so easily. But why should, or how would, people think about this anymore? And that kinda sent me for a loop. Look where the video is positioned on the current Triple S timeline. Like so many others, it lies in the center with relatively few views, meaning to come across it, you either need the YouTube algorithm to pluck its name out of a hat and recommend it, search for Kotone and, well again, get lucky with the algorithm, or scroll past hundreds upon hundreds of other similar Triple S videos until you arrive here and click on it. So who does this video really serve anymore? What do any of the hundreds of lower viewed signals do other than day by day fade more and more into obscurity, hidden behind more and more videos to the point they're spread so thin it's impossible to view them all? As a group with the mission to document the lives of the 24 members, it reminds me of the fact that I don't have enough life to possibly experience it all. This isn't a critically acclaimed movie that gets shown from friend to friend for generations. This isn't a tune that could ever become a classic through the ages. This video, like so many other videos in the K-pop world, is doomed to slowly fade into the background until soon, no one comes across it anymore. Yeah, who knew I could sound like such a downer? I didn't even know that, but I think it's more interesting than it could ever be depressing. In that moment of realizing this about this signal, I came to understand just how rooted in the present the K-pop genre is. We, by default, care about the current releases, because they're what we can support. They show the results of yesterday's work. We care about the current dramas because they're where we can apply our own voices. Maybe more so than any of those things, we care about the present because it's what other people care about too. K-pop is a social genre defined by trendiness, communication, movement, makeup, voting, screaming, supporting, love. There's no time for the past. When hundreds of thousands outcry for OT12 Luna to come back, they don't care that there's hundreds of Luna TVs they haven't watched, or that there's interviews they haven't seen, performance VODs they haven't viewed. They just want them back now, in the present. Perhaps because K-pop is person over product. Whatever is made, it's made to accessorize the idol. It's made to make you want to stand them in the present. So the present is where K-pop is exciting. The past is only ever just a record of how the present was at the time. rarely a standalone merit on its own. In something like gaming, for example, the story is very different. Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3, Mario 64, Sunshine, Galaxy, Galaxy 2, Odyssey, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, on and on. Even indie games retain sizable followings through decades. Not just that, but games stay relevant, still generating countless amazing experiences, theories, glitches, movements. Crowds cheer for the best players of a game made more than 20, 30 years ago. What's new never replaces, it only adds. Well, with some exceptions. Gaming then is product over person. While one day those games will fade too, the most that happens with any regularity now is the spotlight simply being moved from one game or community to the other. But the product, the soul, continues to thrive. In K-pop, the closest thing we have to this is the music itself. You'll still hear Gangnam Style referenced in pop culture, people discovering and sharing music with timeless charms like IU's Palette, BTS's Run, Twice's What Is Love, but those songs rarely fight the concept of generational popularity as well as a classic video game can. They lack the interactivity and depth that produce things like focused communities online, or remakes on store shelves. While they are given so much momentum by their artists, who remain popular and generate so much buzz in the present, even those sort of K-pop classics will fade. Just not as fast as less popular artists, songs made by people before their peak of popularity, or groups who altogether don't exist anymore. So what is Kotone's memories now? One of many loose snapshots lying on an old wooden table that someone can grab by chance and comment on as they please? A photo slotted into an album to be stored away in a cabinet that one might stumble upon when they have the time to reminisce? I guess for me, it was a wake-up call, found because of my silly tendency to research way too hard for my K-pop video ideas. Idle behind-the-scenes footage? We're talking Signal, but also Luna TV, or IZ*ONE Energy Cam, or any of the other bajillion series that other groups have made, have a strange relationship with fans. A series like that may shift in meaning and significance over time, and may prove to hold a special spot in a fan's heart, but regardless, across the board, they fade. And fade fast. But I have to concede bittersweetly. I think that's okay. Don't get me wrong, there's something sad, almost lonely about the fact so much of what the K-pop machine produces is only for the present. I know back when I was 16 and watching Luna TV for the first time, it sure felt like it was all going to be important forever. Each TV numbered and joining the ranks, telling the story of Luna for all to see for generations to come. I suppose that wasn't quite wrong, but it ignored the fact that those view numbers would basically stop going up one day. It, like all other things, would become niche. But maybe that's still beauty, the loneliness of that snapshot of the past, makes it more meaningful to me? K-pop may be about the present, but who's to say the past it becomes can't still affect us personally in the same way? And I'm not just talking about nostalgia. While making my recent Explaining Luna video, I obviously had to do a lot of reminiscing. I watched through hundreds of those old Luna TVs. They were no longer my entertainment. They were my reference. They were my introspection. There I found feelings of fondness, curiosity, intrigue for the window into the past it gave me. I won't say nostalgia because I hate that word for the vagueness in which it's used. Besides, the videos took on a new meaning. I don't know how, but it didn't remind me that Luna was my favorite K-pop group. It bolstered that idea. It made it possible. In that moment, with those videos that were so little watched that YouTube broadband put them on low priority and made them all digitized whenever I paused, with the girl's journey laid out before me, it made me love the group more than ever before. Those old videos are what made my new video fantastic. They're what confirmed to me how much I still love Luna. And I guess they're what's sending me to the Artemis concert next week. Which, by the way, since I'm proofreading the script 2 weeks later, I can say was awesome. Yes, K-pop is about the present. Yes, almost everything released is doomed to fall into obscurity in a relatively short amount of time. But that doesn't hurt anyone. It's just perhaps a bit lonely for those who keep that attachment to the past. In a lot of ways, I guess it mirrors our own personal journeys, where the present is all we have, and the past we care about can only be captured through film that, let's face it, most people you know won't really have the time or patience to watch all of. I think that leads into a larger discussion about how K-pop can be perceived differently, how it means different things to different people. That's its own huge topic though, so I'll end my thoughts here. But do you remember the question I asked you to keep in mind at the start of this video? Are the pieces of media or performances that made you like a certain artist, do those still matter today? I don't want to tell you yes, and I don't want to tell you no. That's an answer that has to come from within yourself, and I hope you can find it with the little bit of reflection I've shared here today. Hey, thanks for watching everyone. Want more videos in this reflective style? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe for more fun and insightful K-pop content, and check out my Patreon for an exclusive commentary about the making of this video. But as always, I'll see you guys next time. Annyeong!